Now, with smartphones, headphones, and even Bluetooth car speakers, practicing has become much more accessible. Whether you're on public transport or walking in a noisy area, tools like noise-canceling headphones can help enhance your focus. There are various types of headphones available today to aid your listening practice. Over-the-ear noise-canceling headphones are designed to block out external noise, allowing you to focus on your listening materials without distractions. On the other hand, in-ear isolation headphones are more affordable and portable, making them great for outdoor activities or commuting. Whether you're using premium noise-canceling headphones or a basic pair, make sure that you're in an environment where you can clearly hear the materials and practice without disruption. However, don't rely too much on headphones unless necessary. It's important to practice speaking in natural environments without always depending on technology to enhance your listening experience. This will help you better adapt to real-world situations where background noise is inevitable. Setting clear, actionable goals. Now that you understand the tools you need for listening practice, let's move on to setting clear, actionable goals. When learning English, your goal should be firm, motivating, and specific. This goal will be your driving force, helping you stay consistent even when the learning process becomes challenging. Think of your goal as a solid rock, something that will not change or waver as you progress. A strong goal can fuel your desire to achieve fluency. There are two main ways to set your goal: inspiration or desperation. For some people, the desire to speak English fluently is inspired by positive aspirations, such as securing a better job or traveling comfortably. For others, it's motivated by desperation, like avoiding limited job opportunities or feeling excluded in English-speaking environments. Either way, it's crucial to have a goal that keeps you pushing forward, especially when the process feels slow. For example, if you're stuck in a job that requires little English and you know you have the potential to do more, use that as motivation. You might set a goal like, I will speak fluent English in 1 year to improve my career prospects and secure a better job. This goal is specific, time-bound, and realistic, allowing you to track your progress over time. Taking action. Once you've set your goal, it's time to take action. The second step in achieving fluency is practice. Listening to English daily, imitating native speakers, and actively engaging with the language are all critical components of this phase. Every day, spend time immersing yourself in English, whether it's listening to podcasts, watching movies, or reading books. Consistency is key. Make English a part of your daily routine. As you practice, don't shy away from speaking, even if you make mistakes. Speaking is a crucial step toward fluency. Join language exchange programs, practice with friends, or even speak aloud to yourself if you don't have a practice partner. The more you use the language, the more confident and natural you will become. Following through. The final step is to follow through. Achieving fluency doesn't happen overnight. It requires perseverance, patience, and a commitment to your goal. Track your progress regularly and celebrate small victories along the way. Whether it's mastering a difficult pronunciation or understanding a complex conversation, keep pushing forward, even when the journey feels tough, and remind yourself why you started. Conclusion. In conclusion, becoming fluent in English, particularly like a native speaker, is a process that involves clear focus, the right materials, consistent practice, and a strong goal. Whether you choose British or American English, your dedication to learning one accent at a time will help you reach your goal. Stick with your plan, use technology and resources wisely, and remember that persistence is key to success. See, people like Ken, a country boy who had never been very successful academically, dropped out of school at a young age. Despite that, Ken found a way to master English and speak it like a native. He started at the age of 20, and within 6 months, he was fluent. This kind of story can spark a fire within us. Ken's story isn't unique because of his background. It's unique because of his determination. If he, a middle school dropout, can achieve fluency, why can't you? If Ken can do it, so can you. No matter your background, no matter your circumstances, if you want to speak English fluently, you have the potential to do it. But potential is only half the equation. The other half is action. What is your motivation? What drives you forward? Desperation as fuel. Sometimes our reason is born from desperation. We look at our current situation and realize that if we don't make a change, nothing will improve. Desperation can be an incredibly powerful motivator. For me, the desperation came from knowing that if I didn't improve my English, I would be stuck in a life that I didn't want, the life of labor work. Desperation. Example. 1. If I keep speaking English poorly, I will continue to do labor work for the rest of my life. But if I speak English fluently, I will have the chance to work in an office, earn more money, and live a life of comfort. Desperation. Example 2. If I don't speak English fluently, I will never land my dream job, but if I speak English fluently, I won't just get that job. I'll be able to move out of this tiny apartment and buy the house on top of the hill that I've always dreamed of. When you frame your goals this way, with both the pain of what happens if you don't succeed and the pleasure of what happens if you do, your motivation becomes much clearer. It's not just about improving English because it's a good skill to have. It's about changing your life in a significant way. Finding your reason. Take a moment to think about your life. What is the pain you experience from not speaking English well, and what is the pleasure you will gain from becoming fluent? When you have these two parts, pain and pleasure, your goal will feel much more achievable. Write it down. Yes, actually take a pen and paper or your phone if that's easier, and write down your goal. Why? Because writing it down makes it real. It takes your goal out of your mind and puts it into the physical world. Don't just write it once. Place it somewhere you can see it often. I wrote my goal and taped it to the ceiling above my bed. Every night before I went to sleep and every morning when I woke up, I saw my goal. It reminded me of why I was working so hard. I also placed it on my desk, where I spent a lot of time studying and working. I even carried a copy in my wallet so I could see it whenever I was out. The key here is repetition. The more you see your goal, the more it becomes part of your daily life. It's a constant reminder that you have something to work toward, something important, out of sight, out of mind. This is what happens when you forget to keep your goal in front of you. But when your goal is visible every day, it's much harder to ignore. The 80-20 rule for success. This is the golden rule for success. 80% of your success depends on your goal, and 20% depends on the work you put in. Does that sound surprising? It's true. If your goal is strong enough, if your reason is powerful enough, the work will follow. When your heart is in it, you'll naturally find the motivation to keep pushing forward. If there is only one thing you take away from this, let it be this. Your goal is the most important part of your journey. Without it, you're left wandering, unsure of why you're putting in the effort. But with a clear goal, you know exactly why you're working so hard, and that makes all the difference. Stories of success. Let's look at two examples of people who used desperation and a strong goal to fuel their success. Thomas Watson. A man who was fired from his job used that anger to set a goal. He didn't just want to find another job, he wanted to start his own company and compete with the business that fired him. He set a goal, worked tirelessly toward it, and eventually built IBM, a company worth billions today. His goal wasn't just to survive, it was to win. Tim Waterstone. After being fired, he set a goal to start his own bookstore business. But when he applied for a loan, he was rejected by 8 different banks. The 9th bank only approved him because the loan officer was retiring and didn't care about the outcome. Tim used that small chance to build his business, eventually selling it for millions. Today, Waterstones is one of the most well-known bookstore chains in the UK. Finding your reason and setting a goal. So what is your reason? Why must you learn to speak English fluently? Not just want, not just need, but must. What is driving you forward? Find that reason now, set your goal, and write it down. Taking action. Learning from native speakers. Once you've set your goal, it's time to take action. To speak English like a native, you need to learn from native speakers. You've heard this before. Practice makes perfect. But it's not just about practicing English. It's about practicing English the right way. Think about learning a skill like Kung Fu. If you want to master Kung Fu, you have to practice it every day. The same goes for English. To master speaking like a native, you have to immerse yourself in the language, listening and repeating what you hear. 9 actions to start speaking English. Fluently. Listen and repeat immediately. Listen to native English materials and repeat what you hear as quickly as you can. Don't worry about understanding every word. Just focus on repeating the sounds and phrases. Complete the entire material. Don't stop halfway through. Listen to and repeat the entire piece of material from start to finish, even if some parts are difficult. Record yourself. Record your voice repeating the material. This is crucial for tracking your progress. Repeat. Again. Go through the material again, this time focusing on difficult words and phrases. Repeat them until you get them right. Focus on speaking, not meaning. Don't get caught up in trying to understand every word. Focus on speaking, and the understanding will come naturally over time. Mimic everything. From the tone to the flow to the speed, try to mimic native speakers as closely as possible. Compare your recordings. Listen to your earlier recordings and compare them to your most recent ones. Notice the improvements. Find new material. Once you've mastered one piece of material, find something new at the appropriate speed, whether slower, just right, or faster, and repeat the process. Follow through. Keep repeating this process, building on what you've learned, and improving your fluency step by step. The importance of persistence. Here's a fun fact. 1% of people who buy instructional books follow the instructions and succeed. The other 99% either stop trying or look for another method. The question is, which one will you be? The power of desperation and determination. Desperation is a powerful motivator. When the stakes are high and the future seems uncertain, it's natural to feel fear, worry, and anxiety. Yet these feelings can be channeled into motivation that propels you toward success. In my case, the desperation I felt about my broken English was a driving force. I knew that if I didn't take action to improve my English, I'd be stuck doing labor work for the rest of my life. The thought of a lifetime of physical toil with limited opportunities was a bleak prospect. But if I could improve my English and speak fluently, I'd be able to get an office job, earn more money, and live a more comfortable life. This was my reason. This was my why, and it pushed me forward. What is your reason? Each of us has a different motivation when it comes to learning English or improving any skill. You need to find your own reason, a reason that will ignite your passion and drive you to take consistent action. For me, the small but significant goal of transitioning from labor work to office work was enough to keep me going. What's your reason? Do you want a better job? Do you want to travel the world with confidence? Do you want to impress your friends, colleagues, or family members? Maybe it's as simple as wanting to communicate effectively and fluently with others. Whatever it is, you need to identify your reason, because that reason will be your fuel when the journey gets tough. By the end of that period, he was speaking English fluently, just like a native. If Ken can do it, then why can't you? If a middle school dropout can master English in 6 months, surely you can too. The key is not in talent, but in the effort and dedication you put into the process. In fact, I believe that anyone can speak English like a native if they follow the right steps. I will make myself speak English like a native. Repeat this mantra in your mind. I can do it. I will do it. Your belief in yourself is just as important as the effort you put in. Desperation, the catalyst for change. While inspiration can give you hope, desperation can give you the urgency to act. Imagine this. If you keep speaking English the way you do now, you'll be stuck doing labor work forever. But if you can master English, you'll open the doors to a more comfortable and prosperous life. Picture yourself in an office, sitting at a desk, handling important tasks, and earning a good salary. This vision should fill you with a sense of urgency. If you don't act now, you risk losing the opportunity to live the life you desire. Desperation is a two-part equation. First, you need to identify the pain you'll continue to experience if you don't achieve your goal. Second, you need to visualize the pleasure and rewards that will come when you succeed. Together, these two forces will create a powerful push-pull dynamic that keeps you focused and motivated. Write down your goal. Now that you have identified your reason and your source of motivation, it's time to solidify your commitment by writing down your goal. Yes, writing it down is crucial. When you write something down, it becomes real. It becomes a tangible reminder of what you're working toward. The golden rule of success. Here's a powerful rule that I've discovered. 80% of your success comes from having a clear goal, and only 20% comes from the work you put in. If you don't have a solid goal, all your hard work won't amount to much. It's like trying to drive somewhere without knowing the destination. The goal gives you direction. It gives you purpose. With a clear goal in mind, everything else falls into place. There's a famous story that illustrates the importance of having a goal. A man was fired from his company, and instead of wallowing in defeat, he got so angry that he decided to start his own company to compete with the one that fired him. His goal was clear: to surpass his former employer. Within a few years, he did just that, building a company worth billions of dollars. That man was Thomas Watson, the founder of IBM. The power of persistence. Another story that demonstrates the power of persistence is that of Tim Waterstone. After being fired from his job, he applied for a $100,000 loan to start his own business. 8 different banks rejected him. One bank even asked for 16 copies of his business plan, only to use it as an example of a bad plan. Despite these setbacks, Waterstone didn't give up. He tried a 9th bank, and this time he succeeded. The bank's loan officer approved the loan because he was retiring soon and didn't care about the risk. Waterstone went on to build the British bookstore empire Waterstones and eventually sold his business for $47 million. His story is a testament to the power of setting a goal and refusing to give up. Your goal is your guiding light. I cannot stress this enough. Your goal is the most important factor in your success. If there's only one thing you take away from this, let it be this: your goal is your guiding light. No matter how hard things get, no matter how many times you fail or stumble, your goal will keep you on the right path. It's your North Star. Step 2. Find you must. When I started my own journey to speak English fluently, I had only one simple reason driven me. I didn't want to be stuck doing labor work for the rest of my life. That single reason was enough to push me forward. If you can find even one reason why you must speak English like a native, not why you want to, but why you must, you will succeed. It's not about wanting, needing, or should. It's about must. What is you must? Step 3. Take action. Now that you've identified your goal, it's time to take action. To speak English fluently, you need to learn from native speakers. But the key is not just learning passively. You need to practice actively. Just like learning Kung Fu, if you want to be good at it, you have to practice. In the following steps, I'm going to guide you through a proven method to help you get rid of your accent and speak English fluently like a native. Make sure you have an MP3 player or cell phone ready with headphones, and let's begin. Action 1. Listen and repeat immediately. The first step is simple but crucial. Listen to the native study material and repeat what you hear immediately, right away, without any delay. If you hear the beginning of a sentence, repeat it. If you hear the middle or the end, repeat those parts as well. Don't try to understand or memorize. Just repeat. This exercise is all about training your brain and mouth to form the correct sounds and patterns of English speech. Action 2. Finish the whole material. Once you've repeated individual sentences, move on to repeating the entire material from start to finish. This step helps you build flow and rhythm in your speech, allowing you to speak in full sentences rather than fragmented words. Action 3. Repeat again. Repetition is key to mastering any skill. Go through the entire material again, repeating everything from the beginning. This helps solidify the patterns in your brain and make speaking English more natural. Action 4. Focus on the difficult parts. Now that you've gone through the material several times, go back and focus on the parts you found difficult. Repeat them until you can say them comfortably. Action 5. Ignore the meaning. Focus on speaking. It's natural to want to understand every word, but for now, focus only on speaking. Understanding will come with time. Concentrate on getting the sounds, rhythm, and flow of the language right. Action 6. Practice 3 more times. By this point, you should feel more comfortable with the material. Practice it 3 more times to reinforce what you've learned. Action 7. Record again and compare. Record yourself once again and compare this recording with your earlier one. Do you notice an improvement? If so, congratulations. You're on your way to speaking English fluently like a native. Action 8. Choose new material. Finally, once you've mastered the material, choose a new piece to work on and repeat the process. Continue building on your progress by challenging yourself with new materials. Step 4. Follow through. The most important part of any process is follow through. It's not enough to practice once or twice. You need to make it a habit. Okay, friends, that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I am here to help you learn English like a native speaker and become fluent in English. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm working hard for you all, so please support me so I can provide you with premium material. Thank you for subscribing, and have a good day.